What's up, all my horror fanatics out there? Welcome back to Late Night Frights. I'm your horror host for this evening, the Thejslone, or Jordan, back here doing another video for you. And as you guys know, we've been doing our horror battle with a theme this week, where everybody has reviewed and reviewed and battled their top 2 favorite horror sequels. Now it's time to get my hands dirty in the subject. Before I start, I want to say stay tuned tomorrow, which is Saturday. We have our pre-member Grim Reaper's debut on the channel, where he will be talking about his 2 favorite horror sequels. Before I start, one more thing. Well, there's 2 more things, but the other thing is I tried to shoot this last night, and it ended up being a 17-minute video. So I thought it was going to upload, but it didn't. So that's why, my hair's kind of out of whack. I just woke up, but I have to get this shot. So yeah, now these 2 films were already used once in a battle this week by the Horror Dude 01, aka Aiden. But we're just going to use them again anyways, because I want everybody to get their perspective out on their favorite sequels. And these two are my favorite horror sequels of all time: the original 1981 Halloween 2 and the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 from 1986. So we're going to go ahead and battle or review each of these in a short, brief synopsis so we don't take up too much time. And then we'll battle these to the death. So the first one, the original 81 Halloween 2, is my favorite horror sequel of all time. I absolutely love this movie because I am such a big fan of the original film. I don't think it's as better than the original film, but I do believe it's right on par. It's up there, and it feels so much like the original, but it also feels a hell of a lot different, too. The aspect of being set in a hospital is really cool for a slasher of its time. I know that Aiden already mentioned that. Donald Pleasance with chilling performance as always. Jamie Lee Curtis did a really good performance, although she didn't have too many lines. This, kind of brings to light the whole situation with Michael and Laurie, which I won't spoil. So it's basically about him, on a bloodthirsty hunt for Laurie Strode. And we don't really know why until towards the end of the film. Love it. I think, Rick Rosenthal did a good job directing this. I know John Carpenter still, I think he produced this film. And he also, John Carpenter and Deborah Hill was a producer, and I think John Carpenter, it says written by John Carpenter and directed by Rick Rosenthal. So he actually wrote the script for this one, and I know that he has some doubts, and sometimes I guess he said he wishes he didn't do this film the way he did it, but I think it makes the story perfect. I love this movie, and I love the guy who plays Michael in this too. Dick Warlock was one of my favorites. He has the great body language that Nick Castle had, but they use it so differently, and that's what I like about this film. It's just a fantastic horror film, fantastic horror sequel. If you like Halloween, you're definitely gonna like this sequel. It takes place the same night that he came home, about a minute after the original ends. So there's my review over Halloween 2. Love it. I hate the 2009 remake or sequel, whatever you want to say. Moving on to 1986, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which was directed by Tobe Hooper, starring Bill Moseley, Caroline Williams, and Dennis Hopper. And this is another, like I said, this is my second favorite horror sequel of all time. I absolutely love the horror and comedy mix in this one. I think this film, it's just so fucked up. I love it. And then, the Chop Top character does make this movie, and that's what some people don't like. Some people don't like the Chop Top character. I fucking love Chop Top. I know some of you guys already know that I love Chop Top to death. Bill Moseley, this is what started his career, and I think he just did fantastic in it. And it's just a fantastic horror film. So the basic plot of this one is 12 years after the original 74 classic, and we do get the same family with a new hitchhiker type character, Chop Top, which is much more out there, much more insane than Hitchhiker in my opinion. We get Leatherface, which is played by a new guy, and I can't think of his name. We get Caroline Williams in this, which is obviously not a part of the family. She works at a radio station. We get the same guy who played Drayton Sawyer, and I can't remember his name either. We get Dennis Hopper added to the cast, and here he plays Lefty. We also get, I can't think of the guy's name who plays LG, but he's a really good actor as well. And it's basically about these 2 kids that are driving. Basically, I forget where they're going, but they're causing mayhem. They're raising hell on the road, and they're fucking with other cars and stuff. And they fuck with the wrong vehicle, and it ends up to be Leatherface and Chop Top, I'm assuming, in that vehicle. So they get massacred, and they're phoning in and talking to Stretch on the radio station as it's going, and she has the tape of them getting murdered, and she plays that for Lefty, and the clan, the Drayton Sawyer family, or the Sawyer family, want to come and kill them. So that's the basic plot of this one. Chop Top does make this movie shine. And the direction that Tobe Hooper went, some people don't like the comedic direction because the 74 classic film, the 1974 film was so traumatic and so realistic and so brutal. And this one has a more comedy tone to it, which I really can't blame Tobe Hooper because, the original film was not a hit at all. It got banned in different countries. He made little to no money on it at first. And this film, I don't blame him for going the more horror comedic route either, because I would do the same thing, because being afraid it would get banned. But the 80s is when both of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre film really shined. I don't think 70s is ready for the original film, but this film is just classic. I have the gruesome edition. Also, I have a lot more editions of Halloween 2, but I didn't want to show. I just wanted to use the standard DVD edition. Dennis Hopper did a classic in this too, and the guy who plays Leatherface did awesome in this. I know some people complained about the masturbation over the chainsaw scene. I like that scene. I think it's funny as hell. But just love this movie. So getting on with the battle, guys. I left my iPod downstairs, so I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. Got my rounds right here. And I think I'm going to add at least one more round. I have 4 rounds. I think I'm going to add maybe 5 rounds. Okay, so round 1 is body count. Which one had a higher body count? Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 had a pretty decent body count. A lot bloodier, a lot gorier than H2. But I'm going to give the round to H2 because technically I do think it had a higher body count in it. And if you also consider this a continuation from the first film, it had a lot more kills in it as well. So you can definitely add those two up, and I think Halloween 2 does have a higher body count. So round 2, story and originality. Both of these films, were sequels to the original film. Although Halloween 2, like I said, felt more like the original 78 film, but it also felt completely different. But I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 had an overall different feel than the original film, like completely. Where the original film had little to no comedy aspects of it, and this one has full-on blast of comedy. So I think that this one would have to win this round. So that's 1-1. And it's really hard for me to battle these two guys because I love them so much. Round 3, blood, guts, and gore. I'm going to have to give that round to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 because it had much more gore in it than this one did. Now, there was some brutal and gory scenes in Halloween 2, especially like the hot tub thing, like the big boiler room. That whole scene was really fucked up, and the needle to the eye and then the scalpel to the back and then pulling up. This one had especially with Stretch wearing LG's face, that was pretty messed up. And it was just a lot more bloody and gory when Chop Top's beating Stretch's head to death. Like, he doesn't kill him, but he almost does. Just a lot of gory scenes in this one. So I would have to give that round to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. So 2-1. Round 4 is personal enjoyment and replayability. As much as I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and I could watch this movie over and over again, I love Halloween 2 more because it's one of my favorite sequels of all time. And I absolutely love it. And I love this one too, but I would have to give this round to Halloween 2. So, round 5. I'm going to do this one on direction, and directing in general. Directing, Rick Rosenthal did a good job in this one, and plus, John Carpenter was involved. Tobe Hooper did amazing with the first 2 Texas Chainsaw films. He also did good with Poltergeist and numerous films after. But I'm going to have to give this round to Halloween 2 because John Carpenter was involved. No, he didn't direct the film, but he did push it towards the way it was going. He wrote the film, so he had a big part to play in where this film went. So I'm going to have to give this round to Halloween 2. Although I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, I fucking love this. Don't underestimate my love to this film. But I'm going to have to let Halloween 2 win this battle because Halloween 2 is my favorite horror sequel of all time. I think it is the best horror sequel, in horror history, in my opinion, and I think it's the best sequel in the Halloween franchise, hands down. And that wins the battle. So, boom, Halloween 2 wins the battle for this one, guys. Now, don't get me wrong, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is badass. This is my second favorite horror sequel of all time, and it will always be my second favorite horror sequel of all time. This film is the best in the series. No. Best sequel in the series, in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre series, hands down. And I absolutely love this movie, but Halloween 2 had to win. There you go, guys. There's my battle of the original 81 Halloween 2 and the 86 Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope I didn't bore you too much. Go check out Aiden or the Horror Doodle One's battle of the same films. I think we gave some different perspectives, though, so that should keep it interesting. But, yeah. So, comment and subscribe, and until next time, guys, keep it horror.